Good morning. Don't look at me. I'd say, just walk around like I like to plug in headphones and clean the house or take a walk around the block. And hopefully, hey, I could share with you some stuff that I've been thinking and reaffirm what you're thinking or open up your eyes to new things. So it's a good morning. Good morning, day one. Good. Is it good? I don't know. I don't know if your life is like mine, where sometimes the good days and the bad days, you can't tell the difference. And a lot of it has to do with labeling, the way we look at things and see things. And I'm learning more in life. Everything is good and everything is bad. You can't have one without the other. There is some wisdom in the yin and the yang. And also at the same time, we know that Jesus spoke about how we see the world. That if God is truly part of everything, then everything has to have some goodness in it. So speaking of labeling stuff, pretty much a lot of what I'm choosing to reflect on deals with death. It's something I think we tend to avoid. I think something that I avoided for many years. And the reality is, it's a great teacher. And death is part of life. Death is not the opposite of life. Death is not the end of life. But death is part of life. And I'm hoping that maybe this will, together we can walk and think and reflect and look at this issue of life after death. Or life is not anything without death. There was a firefighter in 9/11 that I will always remember that they said he didn't die on 9/11. He died every day because every day he was giving up more of himself and more of the I for the sense of the bigger picture of life. And I really, as I get older, as much as I don't want to die yet, I'm a lot more open to it and I'm seeing it differently. And my hope, too, is just in my readings, my reflections, my lived experience, and maybe with you and your lived experience, we can sort of journey together to look at this issue of death. I don't have anything written down at the moment. This is sort of beginning piece here. And I hope not to talk for more than 5 minutes, because I know sometimes that's where people are at. But it's just going to ask you to close your eyes. And I want you to try to remember, or at least imagine yourself in the beginning of your life. Try to envision your mother as a young woman and her bearing you inside of her. And just to stop to think about the amazingness of life, the creation of life that happens all the time. And I mean, if you ever take a chance to really read or study and reflect on what life is and the intricacy of DNA and of your development, and just look at, the science of, in vitro stuff inside that they could see the baby developing, it's just amazing. But I want you to, once again, think of the fact that your mother and you are so, shared and connected. And basically in your blood, in your DNA is your mother. And I don't know if you still have your mother living on this earth as a human being, or if she died like mine. The fact that she is scientifically and spiritually ingrained inside of you, living still today. So that's one element of life after death, that really once one conceives a new life, their life actually expands. You become literally bigger than yourself in creating a child. So going back to just, once again, imagine yourself being able to be mindful of being born. And how you lived without breathing inside your mother. And then you come out and you take your first breath of life. And of course, most babies cry And actually, that's a good thing because it's clearing out the fluids from their lungs that Somehow I don't really understand totally how a baby lives inside. But we know life begins before we breathe, we take our first breath, and life continues even after we stop taking our first breath. We know it in a pregnant woman and in a life inside, but how come we don't know it when a person dies at the end of their human life? So hopefully, as you stay with me and walk with me, I'll share more thoughts and reflections, both, from a general standpoint, but also a personal standpoint. And who knows where this will go and how long this will last. For all eternity, as we do, well, now with cyberspace, maybe some of that can happen. But happy June 13th, 2017. Have a blessed day and a well day. It may not be good, it may not be bad, but with God we are well. Amen.